Hi, my name is Audrey Thomas, founder of Organized Audrey and leanoffices.com. And today's productivity pointer has to do with how do you start an organizing project. So many times people who are needing our help admit to us that they're so overwhelmed they just don't know where to start. So I've come up with a 5-step process that will hopefully help you get started in an organizing project and see it through to the end. So the first one starts with P, and it's define the purpose of the space that you're organizing. And I often tell people, in order to be truly successful in an organizing project, really start out small. So instead of organizing an entire room, let's say there's a bookshelf in that room or a bookshelf in your office that you need to organize. So I'm going to use the bookshelf as an example today. So let's say the bookshelf has 3 shelves. I want you to define the purpose of each individual shelf. So let's say that top shelf is going to be used for training materials, and the second shelf is going to be used for pretty pictures of family and friends, and the third shelf is going to be for binders of finance material that you've got in your office. So once you define the purpose of the space, you can go on to step number 2, which is sort and purge. And this is where you're going to start comparing what's currently in there, what's currently on each shelf, to the purpose that you have just defined the shelf for. So in sorting and purging, you're going to come across things that you will either throw away, recycle, toss. You might come across things that belong to somebody else in another department. You might come across things that need to be taken home. So when you're done with the sort and purge process, you get to go to the third step, and that is assign or organize. And this is where you're left with the things that fit the purpose of the bookshelves as you've already defined them, and now you get to arrange them on the shelf and organize them. It's probably one of the most fun steps that there is, especially for somebody like me. And then the next step starts with L, and it's label. So in retraining your brain and how you're using this space now that you've organized, a label is a great visual indicator and a reminder to what's supposed to go on those shelves. So just put a small label on that first shelf that says training materials, and maybe on the second shelf with pictures, you don't really have to label that, but on that bottom shelf, put finance binders. You know, whatever's going to be on there, make a label. Leave the label on for about 3 months, because that's how long it's going to take to retrain your brain as to what goes there. And then the final step starts with M, and it's maintain. Many people often remark to me that, well, I organized a space and then just a few weeks later it was a mess again. And we forget that for the spaces that we touch every day or every few days, spaces that we use, it all needs to be maintained. So at the end of the day, before you leave your office, take a look at that bookshelf and see if you've stashed anything there that shouldn't really be there, and make sure that what's on those shelves fits the purpose of that space. I hope you've enjoyed this productivity pointer brought to you by Organized Audrey, where our goal is to help you get more done with less stress. Make it a great day.